Hey guys, okay, I wanted to show you this. Now they allude to a flat Earth in these NASA documents. This was put out by Langley. I thought Langley was CIA, and maybe I'm confused, but let me just go over this. The report is back in 1972, determination of angles of attack and side slip from radar data and a roll stabilized platform. You guys know I don't believe it unless I see it written down in paper, and that's kind of how I figured everything out about, the mysteries of what happened to me. But I think this is a much more compelling mystery. Why would they hide it? So they're making the assumption, this isn't the one I wanted to show you. They're making the assumption that it's a flat Earth in the NASA documents. But there's a document that shows, let me go here. This is the document I wanted to find and I was hoping to find. If you guys know where it is, send it to me. It's somebody did a FOIA request on a grant. This is a NASA document, but it's hard to see. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. It's unclassified. This is out in the public from NASA/Langley, aka CIA, so it is in our public sphere, but this is not showing me anything that I wanted to show you. It's just so let me go back to here. Maybe I can type in flat, non-rotating Earth on here and see if it shows anything. A linear aircraft model for rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth is derived and defined. Now, what I wanted to see is there is these are all interesting, but I want to see the grant, because the grant is what shows the money involved. Why would they put money involved into studying a flat Earth if the Earth wasn't flat? And then in this, which I told you guys to watch, this is number 2 in a series called What on Earth Happened. And if you watch number 2, you'll see this. I don't know. He goes into this theory where this is Antarctica. But there's another map that shows landmass outside of Antarctica, and I think the people inside are, well, you guys probably know what I think about that. I do think that this makes the most sense. This is some type of system. This is a very fascinating video. Again, United Nations is inside of here, and then the free world is outside of here. That's kind of what I believe. So forbidden. Okay, so these people, move up onto it. Sorry, this is maybe move up toward. They're going toward Antarctica, and then they get stopped. There's a bunch of different ones. Maritime police stop this one. They stop an aircraft. Why are they stopping people from going to Antarctica? I know you guys have your theories. Some people's theories are there's giant seeds of the trees. This one's pretty interesting. Okay, someone is asking a pilot if the Earth is flat. And they say yes. So what my question is here is, why are we taught about a round Earth? Why are certain children indoctrinated to believe it's a round Earth and not told about the giant trees and not told about our real history, and other children are told everything? And I do believe there are children that know everything, and there are children who know next to nothing because they're programmed. You know, as you saw in my documents that I found, it said, you know, that they were aware of my programming. So here we go.
Angle of downward tilt you have to fly at 3 degrees. 3 degrees for the curvature of the Earth. For the Earth, because we just fly over the troposphere. Really? But do you have to keep like kind of going down because? No, they actually have to nose up. It flies. Really? Because I was reading some stuff on the flat Earth that made a lot of sense. Have you looked into it? This one? I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth. Okay, yeah. True. That's true? Yeah. Okay, alright, cool.
Okay, so there's a lot of evidence out there. You guys were telling me. You guys told me. But, you know, I had to fight for my own freedom, too, you know, at the same time. But I think this is very interesting. Again, I think it's flat. This is another pilot speaking. This is number, let's see. We're talking about density. This is number 3, but let me try to find the one with the trees so I can just direct you to look at his theory. I think it's one of the best ones I've seen. Okay, this is a petrified frog. Again, if this was a body, it would break down into the earth. Instead, it's petrified. Now, what happened to make these things petrified, they're showing this as a great forest. I mean, this might be a branch from one of the giant trees. This is filled with crystal, all right? You can't cut this with a regular saw. They cut this first, and then it was maybe buried. I mean, because why is this going on inside? So crystal, when you find crystal, it's really derivatives of wood, which I did not know. So you guys, it's been like the last couple of weeks I've been kind of exhausted figuring this stuff out, which I think you guys already knew onto it. But okay, these are the hexagonal shapes that we see in the Giant's Causeway. We also see it at, you know, what they refer to as Devil's Tower. And this is the inside of a tree. You know, it has these shapes in it. So what we're looking at when we look at, you know, these structures is not stone. Oh, I mean, it turned to stone, but it was initially a living organism. So the other thing that's pretty interesting is a lot of these have the supposition that they put these on sacred grounds. I mean, but if anyone knows how trees grow, it would be, all of this under here would be roots. And what the Indians believe is that all of the trees communicate through the root system. And the root system communicates with these trees that were once alive because, you know, the roots are still there. But they don't want anyone digging, so it's protected land, so nobody can go and kind of look at what is under this, right? But when you look at the way it bends at the bottom, I mean, I think there's a compelling argument. This is definitely a tree. I've watched enough of these to believe it's a tree, or it was a tree. but it's still a tree. I mean, it's a tree. And one of the things that is interesting is this kind of thing where they tell us it's, I don't know what they say this is, but a lot of these they say it's lava, but it's really these little pieces are, back to the picture of the internal tree. Now go outside. I just want you to go outside and start to kind of look at the way a tree is. Look at this. And then go and look at our landscape. We're in a wasteland. We're in a wasteland. Now, what's behind Antarctica? A lot of people talk about cloning and, things that go on. I mean, cloning is happening right here in America, so I'm not sure why it would be happening in Antarctica, but it might be happening beyond the wall that we're contained in, and they're trying to repopulate maybe some area that still has the original trees. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing? But why can't we know? Why don't we get to know about these trees? The other thing I was considering, I'm just going to show you, this is a tree. It just is. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it to you. They fly over, there's rings on, it's a tree. All right. What did they do with the tree? Where'd the material go for a tree this large? I mean, it's like almost too large to even comprehend, right? What happened to these trees? And the question is, I started to ask this question, is what is beyond Antarctica? What is beyond? Is there land? Are there trees? Look at these. I mean, this is trees. Now, these trees are made of a different substance than these trees, but it doesn't change the fact of these being trees. Have you ever seen those underground root systems? I mean, they're showing, this one's amazing too. Okay, that is a tree, all right? Whether it's changed to stone or not. They'll show the top of these sometimes too, where the top, this one doesn't show it, but some of the tops will just be rings and rings. This is, our modern tree. This is the ancient tree. Were there giants? I don't know. Looks to be, in scale and size, that these trees that we've always seen as rocks are, rocks or mountains or plateaus are, they're trees. And that, once you see it, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to unsee it. These are trees. So again, what is beyond Antarctica? Now, some of these look, they were kind of demolished in a different way, and some are, it's just a clear cut, just like they do when they cut down trees. And some is like this, but they could have done it with, multiple things. I've also watched those, the Easter Island. I've watched, there looks to be some of those Eastern Island figures that were maybe once living. And some people think that, I don't know if the creatures still exist beyond Antarctica, but I do believe the trees do. Anyway, there's lots of information on this. You guys have been watching it. I did not know about it. I didn't know. This is a tree. We've been worshiping tree stems.